Imagine waking up one morning to find out your HOA president has just gifted your private lake to her son, like she owns the place. Sounds insane, right? Well, that's exactly what happened to me. But when she called the cops on me for tearing down her fake sign, she had no idea I was the one controlling the HOA's budget. And trust me, that mistake cost her everything. That lake belongs to my son now. You can't use it anymore. Those were the words Karen, the HOA president, yelled across my ranch property one hot afternoon. I almost laughed out loud. My ranch had been in my family for decades, complete with a small private lake we had stocked and maintained ourselves. The HOA had nothing to do with it. But Karen had other plans. She proudly announced that she was gifting my lake to her son, who had just moved into the neighborhood. According to her, the HOA controlled everything in sight, and that meant my lake was now for community use. I told her calmly, "Karen, this lake is on private land. It's not HOA property." Her response? She smirked and said, "We'll see about that." That's when I knew she was going to push this to the extreme. Within days, Karen and her son were acting as if they owned my lake. They showed up with fishing rods, loud music, and even brought guests to swim. When I confronted them, her son waved me off and said, "My mom gave me this lake. You can't stop me." I filed an official complaint, attaching property maps, deeds, and clear proof that the lake was privately owned and not under HOA jurisdiction. But instead of backing down, Karen doubled down. She went around telling neighbors that I was hogging community resources and refusing to share. Then came the final straw. She installed a cheap wooden sign at the edge of my lake reading, "HOA Community Lake, Residents Welcome." I tore the sign down immediately. That's when Karen completely lost it. She pulled out her phone, dialed 911, and yelled loud enough for everyone to hear. "Hello, police? I need you to come arrest a trespasser on HOA property." When the officers arrived, Karen marched up to them like she was the mayor of the town. "This man is illegally blocking access to community property," she declared, pointing at me. I calmly handed the officers my deed papers, showing the lake was on my private ranch. They looked through the documents carefully, nodded, and one of them told Karen, "This is clearly private property. You have no authority here." Karen exploded. She accused me of forging documents, screamed about HOA rights, and even demanded the officers arrest me anyway. The officers warned her to calm down, but she wouldn't listen. Just when I thought she couldn't make herself look any worse, she turned to her son and shouted, "Don't worry, honey, we'll use the HOA budget to fight this in court." That one sentence was her biggest mistake. Because what Karen didn't realize was that I wasn't just any ranch owner. Here's something Karen had no clue about. Not only was I a property owner in the neighborhood, but I was also serving as the HOA's treasurer. That meant I had direct oversight of the budget, the expenses, and the financial decisions. So when Karen tried to funnel HOA funds toward her fake legal battle, I blocked the transaction immediately. I documented her misuse attempt and sent a detailed report to the entire HOA board, complete with officer statements and deed evidence. The board was furious. Neighbors who had been quiet before now spoke up about how Karen had bullied them, fined them unfairly, and used HOA funds for her personal projects. An emergency meeting was called, and for the first time, Karen didn't look so confident. At the emergency meeting, I laid everything out. The deed proving my ownership of the lake, the police report, and the financial documents showing Karen's attempt to misuse HOA money. The board voted unanimously to remove her as HOA president. Not only that, but they also demanded she repay several suspicious expenses she had pushed through in the past year. Karen's son was banned from setting foot on my ranch property again. The cheap community lake sign was thrown in the dumpster where it belonged. From that day on, the HOA started operating with real transparency. Neighbors thanked me for standing up to Karen, and for the first time in years, people felt like their voices actually mattered. And as for Karen? Well, she avoided me as much as possible. Every time she drove past my ranch and saw the lake glistening in the sun, She knew she had lost, not just the lake, but also the control she thought she had over everyone. The irony? The very budget she wanted to use against me was the same budget I controlled, and that's what ended her reign once and for all. So in the end, the so-called community lake went right back to being what it always was, my private property, and Karen's little empire came crashing down. Her son lost his gift, and she lost her presidency along with her power trip. Have you ever seen someone abuse HOA authority this badly? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed watching Karen's downfall, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another HOA drama story.